All right, here we go. 5 tips for working with littles. All right, y'all ready? And I feel like this is anything between the ages, like where they start understanding you. So probably like 2.5, 3 maybe, until probably, I mean, honestly, y'all, I do this for 8, 9 year olds too. Like I go all the way up there. If they see you as like someone on their level, they're more likely to listen to you. So I do this for those kind of range. And then my family games guide, if you guys want to hop in that, I believe all of those games as well work for this age group too. So some things that I say in here may be repeating the things that I've learned in the or I've said in the games guide, but I go a lot more in depth with a lot of that in that guide in that mini course. Okay, number one, communication. Y'all, like I'm pretty positive that I preach communication at every single live or every single YouTube video or anything that I do with you guys. Communication is essential for family photographers. Actually, any photographers in general, but especially for us family photographers, because in your communication, you are going to learn, especially pre session communication, you're going to learn so much about your families. You're going to learn about like where mom is, like mentality. Has she gotten pictures before? Is she absolutely exhausted? Because she'll tell you, she's going to say, like, my 2 boys are absolutely crazy. Like, we've just never gotten pictures before because all they want to do is run and scream. But, we have to do this for Christmas cards, or I haven't ever done this. They're going to say something like that, or they're going to be like, oh my gosh, my little girl absolutely, like, she loves modeling. She's just going to be her little princess. But, my teenage boy, he's like this. They, moms will tell you because and this sounds so bad, but most of the time moms don't want to be judged. So they're already going to be telling you like how their children are, so that way you're prepared for it. So with like pre-session communication, what I'm talking about here is your client emails. That's number one. You're going to have like be able to like understand them a little bit better and understand that or have the parents understand that you are going to get those pose pictures, but you are more about the genuine moments and having fun and letting kids be in their season of life. And I say that phrase all the time because there's no way you can like argue that. Like this is their season of life. And if they're in the season where like they want to run around and jump and like throw sand and all this stuff, like enjoy it, because guess what? In 2 years, they're going to be in a different season. And you're going to look back and wonder, like, what happened to my little one? What happened to my toddler who, like, was giving those like that silly little smile or like those belly laughs that he just couldn't stop laughing every time you threw the sand. Like, and I remind parents of that. Like, you want to enjoy this season of life and don't wish for the next season, because when you're in the next season, you're going to wish it was back in the past because, they just grow up. They grow up so quickly. So that's something that you're going to get with your emails. Questionnaires is another good one. If you guys need a questionnaire, please, please, please hop in my shop. I have a questionnaire in there, and it gives you like all of the information that you need for a session. I ask a lot of questions about the children, about what they do as a family, like, all of these things. So I know going into the session what the children like already. So there's no like wasting time with asking them like, well, what's your favorite Disney movie? I already know their favorite Disney movie. What do you like to do? I already know what they like to do, and like it's one of those things like if I can connect with them without having to ask them a ton of questions, like, and I'm talking the children, not the adults, then because I already know things about them, it just it's an instant connection rather than me really trying to get to know them. All right. So then after I've done pre-session communication, it doesn't stop there. Then I go into communication at the session. Okay. So at the session with my communication is as soon as my family comes up, hey mom, oh my gosh, you look so beautiful. Like, oh my gosh, your hair is so pretty. I give a compliment, something, a genuine compliment. Don't sit there and just say something and not mean it. Like, I love your necklace. Your dress is so pretty. Oh my gosh, the colors look so good. You need to give reassurance to mom real quick. So mom goes, I did it. You know what I mean? So she's not so like high strung, because kids read that out of their parents, especially the moms. So if the moms are high strung, they're more likely to act crazy. So you want to give mom like a breath first, like, you did a good job. Good job. You're here. You did it. Good job. Immediately I say, hey dad, how are you? And then I get down on the level of the children. Okay. And I say, oh my gosh, you guys look so great. Especially if it's a little girl, like she's wearing a dress. Oh my gosh, let me see your little princess twirl. Oh, you were so pretty. I love it. And then like the little boy, oh my gosh, you're so handsome. And then in my session communication, I talk about picture smile a lot with the parents, and I ask them to start talking to their kids about picture smile. And then I'll ask, like, have you guys been working on your picture smile? Let me see it. Let me see that picture smile. And then when they give me it, no matter what it looks like, y'all, sometimes they're like, that is perfect. You did such a good job. So much praise, 100% so much praise. And then after that, I say, are you guys ready to have fun? Because I like to have fun. Do you like to have fun? Yeah, yeah, I like to have fun. Awesome. Okay, so this is how it works. And this is me telling the kids this. This is how it works. We got to get those silly, smiley, like those picture smiles for mommy. But then we get to run. We're going to run. We're going to play. We're going to have so much fun. But then you still need to listen because mom and dad, because I already know from pre-session communication what their briberies after the session, mom and dad are going to get ice cream after this. Are you guys getting ice cream? That's so awesome. Okay, so we still have to listen, but we're going to have fun. Okay. All right, here we go. So that's all my session communication. And then I go in right away. The first thing that I do is I pose them, ask them to see your picture, smile, snap, snap, snap. Okay, we got it. We got it. And then I go immediately into a game to show them we're going to have fun. But then I reel them back in. And I talk a lot about this in my games guide of like games and prompts to reel them back in because a lot of games are a lot of like high energy movement. And what happens is you can get out of control. It can turn into chaos. And that is not what you want, especially with a 4 or 5 year old. You don't want to lose control. Okay. So I talk about what games or prompts that you can do to like reel them back into like a calm down. So definitely look into that. You guys, your comments right here are so sweet. I love your energy right now. I get passionate about little kids. I love little kids. Okay, so y'all should see me at a session. Like the few of you guys in this group who've seen me at a session, like I'm crazy. I'm crazy at a session. I've got so much high energy. That's why like mini sessions take so much out of me. I am not made to do 10 sessions in a row. Like I just don't have that kind of energy. I am completely drained after a session. Um, okay, the second thing I want to talk about. So we've already talked about communication. Okay, second thing I want to talk about is movement. All right, littles do. My 9-year-old does not want to sit and stand and stare at a camera for an hour. That's just not something that is in their wheelhouse. That is not something like I don't know many kids that can do that, honestly. Especially with a stranger, especially with, sitting there being perfect for an hour. That's a lot for a child to ask. So I require movement. Kids love to move. So how do I do this? I do games and prompts and like fun activities to get them moving around. We do walking, we do tickles. My favorite one, and I talk about this all the time, is on three, we're going to do X, Y, or Z. You know what I mean? So what happens is, especially if you're struggling getting a 4 or 5 year old to look at the camera, and that's all mom wants is one picture with all of them looking at the camera, then what you're going to do is say, okay, when I say three, we're going to run at me. Okay. Or when I say three, we're going to run circles around mommy and daddy. Okay. And it depends on how old they are. You can make this like a little secret, you can like tell them like, okay, so when I say three, we're not going to tell mom and dad, but when I say three, we're going to do this. And it gets them like so excited because they're like, oh my gosh, mom and dad have no idea what I'm going to do. That's more so for like probably like 5 through 6, 4 through 6 age group. So what you're going to do is you're going to pose them all together and then you're going to say, all right, now when I say three, remember, okay, one, and they're looking at you and be like, and then remind them, like pull the camera away, be like, do you see the pictures now? Give me the pictures now. And then two, and then three, 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 and then they run at you. And then I'll say something along the lines of like, oh my gosh, you were way too fast for me. I couldn't even pick you up on my camera. Can I try it again? And they'll be like, yeah, I want to try it again. Push them back and then try it again. And then honestly, normally the second time around, they're smiling even quicker at you, like because they're like, oh my gosh, you haven't gotten me. And they're going to smile and they're going to be looking at you and everything. Fantastic way if you want that picture of all of them looking at the camera. So movement. Another one you can play is red light, green light. That's another one where they're going to be looking at you because they have to listen. So they have to be looking at you. Just remember, like keeping the kids' minds busy, it keeps them focused on you. It's not going to be like if you're engaging and you're interacting with them and stuff, and I can sit there and like again throw out like you're so fast like Lightning McQueen because I know Lightning McQueen was their favorite movie, or like you remind me of a raptor because you're running so fast because they like dinosaurs. I already know all of this stuff because of my pre-session communication. And the kid feels like an instant connection of like, oh, you knew I like dinosaurs. And like you just called me a dinosaur. Like, you know what I mean? Some stuff like that. So just remember that with your communication. I have a notebook that I have for all of my clients that I write down everything and I bring it to all of my sessions and I read it before their session. So that way I know everything about the child beforehand. Okay. Um, Worst case scenario, if you cannot get a child to stand still and pay attention to you, parents pick the kids up. Pick the kids up and we're smiling. And then if the kid is still not like looking at you or smiling or whatever, okay, then we're going to do the, oh, am I going to drop you? Like that game. Like, so if you're holding them and all of a sudden it's like, whoop, whoop, they're going to start laughing and smiling and stuff. All right. Number 3, give breaks. Y'all, like it's so important. These kids, like if they need a break, if they're just like completely not listening and they're just like their attention's all over the place, then give them a break. Take this opportunity to take pictures of mom and dad, or take this opportunity to take pictures of mom and another child, or dad and another child, or take this opportunity to capture them while they're exploring and taking that break. I do have this little camera that I got on Amazon. So sometimes it's really nice to ask like the littles, like, hey, would you mind helping me take pictures of mommy and daddy now? And so they'll run over and I'll be like, all right. And y'all, kids love to be helpers. So what I ask them to do, be like, all right, now remember, mommy and daddy are always telling you to smile. You've got to tell them like, look here and say cheese, right? And so they're going to do that. And then I'll be like, okay, now tell them to look at each other. And then they'll be like, okay, mommy, look at each other. And, and I'm like, you got to take pictures too. And they'll use this camera to take pictures and stuff. But I do tell them, like, if I give that to you, though, you got to put it back in the bag until we're, going to use it again because they'll want to keep using it for the whole session. Another thing, like I told you guys, is encourage them to explore. So like if I'm on the beach, I'll ask them like, hey, can you find me like a really pretty seashell? And I'll have the parents or the other children or whatever walk behind them, either holding hands as their kids are looking for seashells, or maybe they start looking for seashells with their children. And I capture all of that. And that's more like the lifestyle, the more genuine moments, which is what like I would like to do with my families. I like to do that kind of stuff. So if you're not at the beach, which I think majority of you guys are not at the beach, you can ask like, can you find me a pretty flower or a rock or a stick or something that's on the ground, and they'll start like looking for it. And again, you can have mom and dad hold hands, like looking at each other while the kid's doing that. You can capture like the whole scene. So give breaks. All right. 4th one, rewards. Y'all, I am not above bribery, but the difference is I don't bribe as in one more and then you get, because it's never one more. And that's not fair for a child. So I am not that photographer. I don't sit there and do that. I do ask if there's going to be a reward in my pre-session communication. If there is going to be a reward, if there's going to be ice cream or cookies or going out to dinner or, something. So that way I'm aware of it, because this is how I do my bribery, right? I say something along the lines of, are you getting ice cream after this? That's so awesome. What are you going to get on your ice cream? I like sprinkles on my ice cream. Do you like sprinkles on your ice cream? And it kind of like brings them back into that mentality of like, oh yeah, I'm going to get ice cream after this. You know what I mean? I also do immediate bribery. All right. So if you sit here real quick and smile with your brother, just give your brother a little hug, then we're going to play a game. We're going to play, you're going to have to race me or something, or, stuff like that. I also will do a lot of like I'll make a funny noise. Like I'll say like, all right, if you give me a smile, then I'm going to run around in a circle real quick, stuff like that. So it gets them like, it's like immediate bribery. I don't like the whole, you do this and I'll give you one like gummy or something, just because like it ends up being like they want more gummies and they want more of that kind of stuff, and it just kind of interrupts the whole session. So I honestly prefer asking about their reward instead. So I'll be like, what kind of ice cream flavor are you going to get? Oh my gosh, that's my favorite. Where do you guys go to get ice cream? And it just brings them back into that connection of like listening to you, because they have to listen because you're talking about something they're interested in. All right. And then the last one for you guys is patience. And this is not just for you. This is to with the communication, teaching your mom and dad to be patient as well, enjoy this season of life. It is very important to be patient, and even with, like, littles, like, that are between, like, 1 and 3, you just got to, like, kind of roll with the punches, you know what I mean? So, I always have, like, mom and dad, like, especially if they keep moving, stand near, and so they can keep putting them back where I need them, and then, like, we'll distract. I'll just be like, "Yay!" You know, or clap, "Yay! You did it!" And they're, like, looking at you because 'cause you're making so much noise. I also have, like, I don't have it with me, I have it in my car, but I have a dog toy. Sounds so silly. I have a dog toy and it does a squeaker, and so, like, sometimes that will get their attention with a squeaker, and I'll do that. I know some people have, like, the little fuzzies around their camera for ones that are even younger than 3. I don't like that, it distracts me, so, I have a very short attention span when it comes to that kind of stuff, so it distracts me, so I wouldn't be able to do it. But, yeah, so just patience, and if you can tell mom and dad are losing patience, then just, again, remind them, like, "It's just their season, I promise you, we have so many adorable shots, and I love the fact that you guys are just being a family, like, this is you guys being a family, you guys are cuddling, you're nurturing, you're loving." Worst case scenario, I always go back to the story of me and my son. I've said it so many times in this group, but I don't think I've said it in a while. I was going through a divorce. My ex-husband had just left, and we had scheduled a family session for 2 weeks before he left. I ended up still doing the session with my son, and I was like, you know what? This is just going to signify. Like my son was 3 at the time. Noah was 3. He's 9 now. Was he 3? Yeah. No. Was he 2? I don't know how old he was. I have no idea how old he is. But, anyways, besides the point, we went to this session and, like, I just wanted one picture of me and Noah smiling because we had never gotten professional pictures like that before, and, I just wanted that one picture. And y'all, like, the entire time, all he did was throw sand, and I'm in the background going like this. I was so annoyed, and then when I, um, picked him up, he would just scream, and I was there comforting him, and, like, I was crying because I was just like, "I just want one picture." I left that session, and I felt so defeated. Um, Now they're some of my favorite pictures because, like, he doesn't do that stuff anymore, and, like, I just remember that season where, like, his smiles and his giggles were so genuine at that photo shoot because, like, all he wanted to do was throw sand and just play and be a child, and the photographer captured it so perfectly, and they're still some of my favorite pictures. Normally I have one right here by my desk, but I think I hung it up in my living room. But it and I remind people of that. I'm like, you know, I left that session so defeated, but you know, now looking back on it, like he's 9 and he doesn't do that stuff anymore. He stands and smiles at the camera, and I miss those giggles. And now every time I see that picture, I hear it. Like I hear his giggles. So that's always like my backup plan. I normally don't share that story with a ton of people, but like it is my backup plan for if I can tell that they are getting super stressed out because they want the Pinterest worthy pictures. But let me tell y'all a secret. Those Pinterest worthy pictures, they are 1 in a billion. That's why they're on Pinterest. So if you have like, you know, those families, like try and remind them like we're going to do our best. The kids will be kids. Like we can't force them to look like this one picture. Um, and then again, like I act like a crazy person, y'all. Like I act like a crazy person on my sessions. But all right. So those were my 5 tips for you guys. I hope this was helpful.